So I just found out that apparently on Steam, there is a new Sonic the Hedgehog game. Now, for most people, myself included, I'm not the greatest Sonic fan. I wouldn't even consider myself that much of a fan anymore. However, when I was a kid, I was an animal for that shit. I went feral for Sonic. I would eat it up. I didn't care that much about Mario. I thought Sonic was way cooler because he's blue and he runs really fast. But yeah, back in the day, Sonic games were actually good. You know, back in my childhood, during the Wii, Xbox 360, DS era. You know, for example, there's Sonic Colors, Sonic in the Seven Rings, Sonic in the Black Knight, where they have swords, and Sonic in the Lost Chronicles, and the Dark Brotherhood thing. But anyway, my point is, Sonic games used to be so good, and they played a big part in my childhood, you know? But now it feels like it's just becoming mid. The enshittification, you know? And I don't know if this is more of like a industry problem, you know, just like a greed problem, cutting corners, cutting costs, things like that. But today I wanted to focus on this game called Sonic Rumble. Now, this game completely flew under my radar because also we have the new Sonic Racing Crossworlds game, and it looks pretty cool, and I've heard good things about it, so that's good. But this game is called Sonic Rumble, and I believe it's a mobile game. So there's your first red flag. And second of all, it's in the style of Fall Guys. Here we are in 2025, and we have Sega pretty much copying a game that came out years ago, just making a derivative of that, but slapping the Sonic characters on it. And apparently the game is nothing special. It's just Fall Guys, but Sonic. And it's just not really something that's too appealing. However, it is free to play. But that is another red flag. If you are keen, you would realize that is a red flag. For the most part, it seems like free to play games are very popular because they're filled with microtransactions. You know, the spawn of the devil itself. I guess everything has microtransactions now. Even your fridge and washing machine. But I've heard microtransactions in this game are especially bad. And we live in a time where, apparently, games like this, you know, for children, I wouldn't really say Sonic is made for adults. Some of the skins would cost up to $50. 50, that's right. That's right. You heard me right. 50 big ones. 50 schmeckles. 50 fucking doubloons for a skin. A Rouge the Bat skin. $50 for this. Like, it is absurd. And it's baffling to me how this game has released, you know? And you go on Steam and all the reviews are pretty much negative. You know, there's some positive, but there'll always be positive reviews. But for the most part, it's negative. And that's because it's just a unremarkable game. And it's filled with microtransactions. And it's a derivative of Fall Guys, of all the games. Do you guys remember when, you know, they were creative with Sonic? Because back when we had the Sonic with swords, or the Sonic with rings, or Sonic with the wisps, you know, it's like at least there was like some new thing. And this is like, I'm sure it's probably not even a mainline game, but it's like, what would be the purpose of releasing something like this? Just to get scrape a little bit of cash from like these kids? I don't know, man. It kind of just rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, new Sonic game came out. Congrats if you still enjoy that. But I've heard it's pretty bad. And I think it's time that we don't play these games and we don't buy any of the skins or any of that bullshit because it's not worth it. And we need to let these companies know that even publishers and developers, all of them, hold everyone accountable, you know? It's obvious that it's just a cash grab and they think it'd be popular amongst the kids. And if they get lucky, you know, they get mommy's credit card and then they buy a skin or two, you know, and they get profit from that. And I don't know, it just doesn't really sit right with me. The game looks boring, looks stupid. It sucks that they can't come up with an original idea for this game. I'm tired of these Battle Royale fucking nonsense games. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.